This thing that he's doing where he's pretending that he's a woman is very smart.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me.
Some psychopath can just pretend that they're a woman and knock women over on the court.
I gotta take this out.
Norman's a fucking woman, dude. I bet.
Oh,
It's a giant dude. A giant dude who's just dominating these chicks. So the more controversy there is, the more people do come to see them. The crazy thing about the WNBA, imagine if the NBA had the same sexual dynamic. Imagine if the most of the team was a bunch of gay dudes who were like very aggressive and black.
Welcome back. WNBA fans, today we are diving into a story that has created major controversy and sparked heated reactions across the basketball world. Joe Rogan is now at the center of a growing WNBA debate, with Brittney Griner, Sophie Cunningham, and the league itself being pulled into the conversation. Claims, criticism, and strong opinions are spreading quickly, but what is actually behind all of this? So, without wasting any more time, let's jump straight into today's video and break everything down. The biggest personalities in sports commentary are now calling out what they see as double standards in the WNBA on national television, while league executives are facing growing pressure as the organization reaches a major turning point. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 73% of viewers still haven't subscribed. It's completely free and only takes a second, but it means a lot to us. So, did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now, let's get back to the video.
You can't define what a woman is, then you're an idiot. And this is nonsense. And that's what your ideology is. Your ideology is so stupid, you can't define the difference between a male and a female. And so you've decided that people identifying with something means it's a real thing, and you have to say it because everybody else says it, and they scare you, and they'll cancel you and go after you. So everyone's agreed to nonsense. So this is where we painted ourselves into this dumb
Corporate media's first major attempt to push certain political narratives has completely backfired, creating a heated public debate that is now spreading across the media world, from major podcast studios to mainstream news programs.
Griner now adding her voice to the debate over transgender athletes. She's a WNBA star, slamming the push to ban biological men from competing against biological women.
So when someone like Brittney Griner says, actually, I'm going to fight for men to play in women's sports, is just another blow against lots of young female athletes.
But they've painted themselves in a corner, because if they don't let the guy in, it looks bad.
Right.
But if they do, he's going to dunk.
Well, the thing is, can you define what a woman is? And until you can't, if you can't define what a woman is, then you're an idiot. And this is nonsense.
Corporate media's first major attempt to push certain political narratives has completely backfired, creating a heated public debate that is now spreading across the media world, from major podcast studios to mainstream news programs.
One of the things that Joe Rogan, a prominent podcaster, one of the things that made him wake up to this issue is that he's an MMA fighter.
Correct.
And when Joe Rogan saw biological males who are transitioning to female beating the hell out of biological females in the ring, he started to think,
What are we doing?
What are we doing here? Like, why are we cheering this on?
If you say anything like, look, trans women aren't women. There are men who identify as women, which is fine. But there's a biological distinction that protects women in sports, and that's chromosomes. We know XX chromosome, you're a woman, XY, you're a dude. Do it that way. Call yourself whatever the fuck you want. But if you want to play in the WNBA, you have to have X.
Highlighting the idea that basic genetics plays a major role in biological sex, with XX chromosomes generally associated with females and XY chromosomes generally associated with males, while also arguing that allowing biological males to compete in female sports could weaken the protections and safeguards that Title IX was originally designed to provide.
The WNBA have an onus of responsibility to be able to ensure that it's fair playership, though? I don't know if playership's a word.
For college sports and for the WNBA, too, 100%. I mean, I don't think it's ever okay for guys to be playing girl sports, but if this is true, then she was like the origin of this epidemic.
Mostly big black gay ladies and a few scared-looking Sophie Cunninghams that have to point fingers at people. You're surrounded by people who think you're perhaps sexually attractive.
They've made it into a reality show. It's become like Real Housewives. They're all just fight now.
Right.
That's the only reason you watch.
But it is an interesting sexual...
Rogan also brought attention to the controversial political climate surrounding the WNBA during the conversation, pointing out how outspoken players like Sophie Cunningham are being pushed to defend what they believe is biological reality against league narratives that, in their view, ignore basic scientific facts.
You're going to have a tremendous platform, but where is that going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for athletes, all athletes, transgender athletes to be able to play?
Oh, I mean, that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. You know, everyone deserves the right to play.
The WNBA's Brittney Griner is a man.
That's not a woman. That's not a female. That's not even a trans person. That is a man.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
When WNBA veteran Brittney Griner publicly stepped into the national conversation, the tension became even stronger. Griner stated on camera that everyone should have the right to participate in women's sports and promised to use her platform to actively support transgender athletes, while criticizing ongoing efforts to prevent transgender women from competing in women's sports.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me. Like when I'm out in public, like my teammates sometimes will get mad if somebody call me a he, but I'm just like, I don't care. Like, you know, we go sit down and get some food and they're like, sir, what do you want? I'm like, yeah, let me get the steak, medium well. Thank you. I'm in TSA and I'm going through TSA and, you know, the guy pats me down so I could go through. I'm cool. I didn't have people come running like, no, it's the girls. I'm like, hey, you're making it awkward. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to get through. Whoever could pat me down the fastest, I don't care.
Yeah.
I've had the opposite where someone was like, hey, you know, it's just against the rules. Like, he can't pat you down. Like, she has to pat you down. And then she walks up and she's looking at me. She goes looking at my chest, looking me up and down, looking at my chest, trying to look at the ID, making it awkward. Or they'll ask me, you really a girl? Nah, I'm...
Her remarks were quickly criticized by major news networks and commentators, with author Douglas Murray openly condemning Griner's position as a serious setback for thousands of dedicated female athletes across the country. He argued that such a position could undermine young women who are working hard to compete for fair opportunities, college scholarships, podium finishes, and valuable roster spots they have spent years earning.
Everyone deserves the right to play, so she's now weighed in on this. She's got a big voice.
I suppose it's sort of lucky that Brittney Griner's not just starting off, because if these are the rules when she was starting off, then the whole thing might be different. The problem we have in America on this is that there's a very distinct lack, actually, of women defending women in the public square on issues like this. And that isn't the case in every other country. And for instance, in my own country of origin, Britain, there have been very, very prominent women, not just in sports, but across the political and social platforms who have objected to precisely...
Murray noted that years ago, after seeing cases in which biological males competed against and physically overpowered female opponents in combat sports, even Rogan came to recognize the potential risks connected to this issue. Griner's remarks were praised by some activist groups, but a number of female athletes also spoke out and helped lead a strong counter-reaction. Sports figures such as tennis star Martina Navratilova and two-time Olympian Sharon Davies strongly criticized Griner's position, arguing that differences in biological competition could affect female athletes by taking away opportunities and leading to lower finishing positions. Navratilova made it clear that activists should respect the biological boundaries she believes are important for protecting women's sports and should stop trying to redefine what feminism means. Despite the strong backlash from many fans and well-known sports figures, league executives, and outspoken activists continue to promote positions that critics say are creating deeper divisions and pushing away a large part of the basketball audience.
A woman decided to stand up for women and female spaces. And that woman is now getting lambasted by other women because she doesn't support transgender people in female spaces. Sophie Cunningham, who many of you will probably know from this video, recently got herself in hot water because she had the audacity to say that women and girls should be protected.
WNBA star Sophie Cunningham, who plays guard for the Indiana Fever, when an ESPN feature quoted her opposition towards biological men competing in women's sports. She said she wanted to protect young girls both on court as well as in the locker room, calling her position kind of common sense. It has everything to do with reality.
The WNBA leadership is now in a difficult position because of the growing conflict between corporate messaging and what many fans see as common sense. While outspoken athletes like Sophie Cunningham are willing to face public criticism in order to defend the integrity of women's sports, figures like Griner continue to promote views that have triggered strong reactions from the public. The contrast between players who openly defend their beliefs and those who follow the league's official messaging has revealed deeper divisions within the organization. However, when the media narrative began spiraling out of control, Griner's own background suddenly returned to the spotlight as viral online investigations and resurfaced claims started gaining attention, creating another explosive issue that league officials are now desperately trying to contain and ignore.
This jersey used to represent someone I respected as an athlete. Today it represents something I can't support anymore. Sports have the power to bring people together, but when someone uses their platform to demonize or marginalize an already vulnerable community, I have to decide where I stand. I'm burning my support. As a trans woman, I've spent years fighting just to exist authentically.
I will never understand how these people think this is some sort of a win for their side. Like, I am begging you people to be normal. Despite the monumental freakout, Cunningham didn't back down, which we love to see.
Viral conversations across major media platforms have now put intense pressure on the WNBA front office, forcing league officials to focus on limiting the damage as public scrutiny reaches an extremely high level. A team of analysts on the popular commentary program Valuetainment reviewed leaked video clips, resurfaced media footage, and online claims surrounding Griner's past, while also pointing to what they described as a lack of coverage from major sports networks regarding her time in Russian custody.
Brittney Griner, the WNBA's Brittney Griner, is in fact a man.
Brittney, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you.
Damn.
Look at the chest.
Jab stepping, Mr. Brick. Swing and a miss.
It's very clearly Brittney.
I ain't gonna fake it right now.
They called him/her by their name. And as you can clearly see here, his bare chest is completely...
While private sports organizations may promote the ideas and messages they choose, analysts argued that taxpayer-funded sports programs and educational opportunities should maintain biological fairness. The panel also pointed to what they described as clear double standards in the way major sports outlets cover controversial topics involving the league, explaining that physical traits such as lung capacity, bone density, and overall muscle strength can give male athletes significant advantages over female competitors, making biological differences an important consideration in competitive sports. According to this argument, the ongoing controversy has also contributed to the WNBA's struggle to maintain mainstream attention, with the growing media storm creating even more questions about the league's direction.
Power. This is why the WNBA this is not going to go away. This issue is not going to go away. They're in such a bad position here. Caitlin Clark, they have cultural power. People love them. People are buying tickets that would never care about the WNBA. There's a reason why people call Sophie Cunningham MAGA Barbie, and people are starting to fill the arenas to watch her and Caitlin Clark. She's not apologizing for saying that there should be no men in this woman's sport. It's caused an absolute crisis, and people are losing their mind.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
These women spent $1,000 on tickets to attend the Indiana Fever versus Atlanta Dream game, specifically to see Sophie.
Before generational great Caitlin Clark joined the league, women's basketball had been operating on a completely different level for decades, but her arrival changed the sport almost overnight. She broke viewing records, filled arenas across the country, and brought women's basketball a level of commercial attention that had rarely been seen before. Millions of passionate sports fans started coming to arenas to watch Clark's exciting playing style, incredible shooting range, and genuine love for the game, showing that many spectators are drawn to elite basketball and real competition rather than political drama. However, league leadership and activist commentators have repeatedly allowed controversial cultural debates to take attention away from the game instead of fully recognizing and celebrating the historic impact Clark has had on women's basketball.
Thing that he's doing where he's pretending that he's a woman is very smart.
It really don't make a difference if you say he or she to me.
Some psychopath can just pretend that they're a woman and knock women over on the court.
I gotta take this out. Norman's a fucking woman, dude. I bet.
It's a giant dude. A giant dude who's just dominating these chicks. So the more controversy there is, the more people do come to see them. The crazy thing about the WNBA, imagine if the NBA had the same sexual dynamic. Imagine if the most of the team was a bunch of gay dudes who were like very aggressive.
While the WNBA is suddenly receiving more public attention than ever before, Joe Rogan pointed out during his program that putting extreme political positions ahead of Caitlin Clark's genuine fan base could cause the league to waste an incredible opportunity. The huge number of sports fans who simply want fair competition and outstanding athletic performances are represented by players like Sophie Cunningham, who have been willing to stand up for their teammates and speak openly about biological differences in sports. At the same time, people who support removing biological boundaries, including Brittney Griner, are facing growing criticism from Americans who believe sports should remain focused on competition and athletic ability. In the end, corporate double standards, weak leadership, and political agendas being pushed into women's basketball can leave real sports fans feeling exhausted and disconnected. Standing up for biological differences in sports is not necessarily a radical position, and athletes such as Sophie Cunningham and Martina Navratilova have shown that speaking openly about these issues can be important for the future of women's athletics. If the WNBA wants to protect its future, league leadership needs to listen to its broader fan base, avoid allowing activist pressure to dominate the conversation, and continue supporting major stars like Caitlin Clark who have brought enormous attention to the sport. What do you think about Joe Rogan's criticism of the WNBA and Brittney Griner's position? Do you support Sophie Cunningham's efforts to speak about fairness and biological differences in women's sports? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, share it with other basketball fans. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.